107 Ferndale Radio. That is shortly Finders Keepers. Coincidentally enough, we have the person who created that song. She's right across from me. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. It was cool to hear myself just now on the radio.
You were pretty stoked. I haven't posted it yet, but on our Instagram account at Ferndale Radio, you'll see her singing her own song, but meta.
You're going to see Maddie and Chris
and,
here
and her
talking
crew.
too.
Yeah, her crew is here.
Small room.
So we just talked about it. This past Friday, you released your EP off Triple Crown Records, Richmond. The response has been awesome from what I've seen.
Yeah.
What were your feelings when it was officially available on like Spotify and everywhere else?
I literally screamed. I think they can back me up on that too. We're sitting. So also we were an hour behind, and I forgot that. I can't remember where we were specifically. I think Columbia. And so we were out back by the van, and we're loading up, and all of the bands are kind of like, "Oh, the EP comes out in an hour, or something in an hour." And then one of my friends texted me, and he's like, "It's up," and I was like, "What?" And so it was like even more of a shock, where it's like, "Oh, it's not Eastern Standard Time." And so I just started yelling. I was like, "Guys, it's out!" It's like, but yeah, it was really, really cool. I mean, I've put music out before, and it's usually a single or something that I'm heavily anticipating. And I was anticipating it for so long that I kind of forgot that it was happening. And just kind of talking about it, and then actually seeing it there, and like seeing streams like happen live on Spotify
Right.
for artists, like you can see that it was just like it's a really surreal feeling for me.
I do have a gripe with people in Metro Detroit, because I saw on Spotify it breaks down like regions, and Detroit's not at the top, and you're a Detroiter. I think it was like Chicago, so I guess props to Chicago for being the top city to stream you.
It's pretty cool.
But come on, people, what's wrong with you here in this town? We talked back when you performed at Mopop, and then since then, obviously gearing up for this EP release, but also you've been touring with Mom Jeans, which you will be playing tonight at the Loving Touch. It's practically sold out. I think there are only a handful of tickets left, so you better go to the box office now if you want to go to the show. But how's the tour been?
It's been so much fun. I'm looking at them because I know that they're on camera, but recorded, they're not here, so I have to stop looking at Maddie for advice. Like, Maddie, how was it? How was tour? Tour's been super, super fun. I've gone on a couple of tours so far. None of them were as long as this one is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was very, very nervous for it. Especially since Mom Jeans and Just Friends, they've been friends for longer than I've known anyone. Like, they were all went to school together, and now so there's like 16 or something of them. So super nervous, but they all kind of accepted the band with open arms, and now it's just kind of, because of that, there's like one big family with this sort of history that you can't really imagine unless you're there. It's very, very exciting. Like after shows, there's like band chats and stuff where there's like a circle and everyone's just kind of like in marching band style, like yelling at each other in happy ways. And I think that camaraderie is something that the people feel when they're out there, because we all kind of like show up during each other's sets and like yell at each other from off stage, or like get on stage and like start yelling and stuff. It's super fun. It's unlike anything I've done before.
Do you feel like you've gained new fans who've come to see Mom Jeans, but then they see the opening acts and they see you?
Yeah.
Good.
I think that's what's supposed to happen, right?
Yes.
So I'm glad that it is happening. I was really nervous because our sound is so different from like Mom Jeans and Just Friends. Like Mom Jeans and Just Friends is like punch people because you're so excited.
I mean, Mom Jeans played at Riot Fest.
Yeah, for real.
I can see you at Riot Fest. Easy.
It'd be fun, yeah. But
open up for the Misfits.
But it's just, like especially now Mover Shaker's playing too, and there's some of my good friends, and they're just like, they're known for being so loud and exciting, and then we play, and it's a different kind of feeling. So I've been really nervous about that, but the reception's been really good. And for a lot of kids, this is their first show that they're going to. That's something I didn't notice either. A lot of people tagging photos are like, "Oh, thanks for the best first concert I've ever been to." And I'm like, wow, I got to play that. That's really cool. And so especially when you're in a foreign state you've never been in before, these kids have never gone to anything, and they spend money on like a shirt of yours. Like, I'm stingy with my money in bands that I have known for a long time, so it just means a lot. I've definitely gained new fans and new friends.
So you've been in cities where you haven't before on this tour?
Yes.
How has that been?
I've played some of the Midwest, and I've played a little bit of the West Coast as of last year, and then so this one we kind of went straight through Chicago, then Colorado. I'd played both, but we played Colorado Springs this time instead of Denver, and so that was new to me. And then we went straight to Santa Ana, which I never played before, San Diego, a venue that I have played before, and kind of going back and forth. And then we went south, and I've never played anything in the south. Never even been in like Arizona. So we went to the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
We played Phoenix, and it was super hot. It was like, I kind of feel dizzy because I've never been to any of these places, but it was cool to be like, oh, these are real places that actually exist, and there's people here, and there's a scene here where I would never have thought there was.
And they were pretty. So like, I mean, we did talk about how you did gain new fans, but in places like outside of the Midwest, they weren't kind of thrown off by your style.
Oh, there was this small town that was just, what was that small town?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Man, they rock. Oklahoma City is showing up. They are there. Yeah, just kind of stuff like that. Where it's like, it kind of hits you by surprise. Like, I don't know, you'd expect to play a huge show in Chicago and then like play for like a handful of people in Oklahoma City. But for us, for a handful in Chicago for our headliner, and then we went to Oklahoma City, and there's just like, the gig itself is like, probably the smallest one that we played, but like we sold the most amount of merchandise, we talked to the most amount of people. It's like, man, these kids care, you know, and so that was super cool.
Which I think they are the ones who will help sustain the live music business.
Yeah. I think that it's really important.
Because I feel like, I mean, a friend told me, and I totally agree with, like, sometimes we don't go to a lot of shows because we feel too old, or like, main floor is a young man's game now. Like, when there's a seat, I am happy.
Yeah, see, okay, even me. Like, I have scoliosis, and I'm like, man, I want to sit down. Like, it's like, but I don't want to pay the extra money to sit down at, like the Fillmore, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, I'll go to the show. But
that is ridiculous.
Why
is the mezzanine more expensive?
You know, I'll go late and I'll only see the band that I want to see. And so it's this kind of like this game where when you're playing for a younger crowd, it's really cool because they're the kinds who like they show up early. You know, like when I was younger, I was like I'd get there before doors because I didn't know that doors happened like an hour before the show actually starts. Like I want to be there at time. So it's like doors are at 6 and I'm like I'm there at 4:30. You know, and then like the show actually starts at 7:30 and I'm like sore but I'm excited and sweaty and it's like these people they care a lot. You know, and that's kind of where you find the people who are going to show up for the opening acts. I mean, like, if I toured with a larger band, that could be really cool, but they might come just for that larger band, completely skip me, talk during that band set, and then leave halfway through drunk. Like, you never know. So, yeah, it's definitely, like, exactly what she said.
I mean, so I've been going to Lollapalooza for a while now, but now it's like, now that they extended it to 4 days, it just feels like just that one extra day, I feel like I've been hit by a truck after the festival is over with. But, like, you'll see these kids every day. They're in line at 8 a.m. because they want to be at the front of the gate. And it's insane to me. But it's also, it's heartwarming to see that passion that there are in those young people and that music still touches so many lives.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, and I don't even know if you had much of a chance to look into it. So the Senate just passed the Music Modernization Act, which is supposed to help artists get up, and songwriters, creators get a better share of royalties and
percentage-wise instead of penny-based.
Yes.
Okay, they've been trying to do that for a while. That's all I know about it. Percentage-wise instead of penny-based, basically.
So and now it's on the House to pass it. I just didn't know how deeply involved in that you are, and if
in
like
publishing and royalties and things.
Yeah, and if like BMI and any of them kind of help you with that or not.
So we actually just registered for our PRO. So we actually just signed up with BMI. Not long ago at all. And publishing is something that they don't talk about very often. And I think that's supposed to be where the music industry makes their money, is in publishing, because you don't know anything about it. And I've had a lot of conversations on this tour about how important publishing is, and I don't even know that much about it. I just know, like, you think publishing, and I think a lot of people get it mixed up with distribution.
Right.
When really publishing is just a word that encompasses the management of copyrights. And so people don't understand, like, oh, you got a record deal, that's so cool. It's like, okay, that's step one, because when you sign a record deal, you're giving your songs to someone. They now own the master recordings of your songs. So if you want to make any money off of them, you have to sign up with a PRO, because that's your publishing. Right. So then that's the underlying composition that you now own. So I'm involved with that because I have to be as a businesswoman. If I'm going to make any money, somebody else owns my music. In return, having that leverage of having somebody to vouch for me, I now need to vouch for myself by playing on stage and selling my merchandise and stuff like that. And the idea of anything about the industry changing to the point where artists can start to understand that better and start to understand like what PROs are, and the difference is really like I don't even fully understand the differences between like BMI and ASCAP and CSAC, other than like different incentives that they offer. You know, like ASCAP has their Music Pro program and like healthcare insurance and stuff like that. Anything at all that helps artists get paid,
Right.
especially at this level that we're at. Like if you don't have a record label, it's so hard because you need that money. But then you get that money and it's recuperable expense. So then you have to pay it back, and people don't know that either. So just anything about that, I'm super excited about that. If you just said that to me, because it's like, let's get it done.
And it passed unanimously, which is very rare for
Because
politicians
it's so
to pass.
important.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's like, I worked somewhere once and they wouldn't give me my paycheck, and that's the way that I feel. Like that anger is like I work for this. It's like that's the way that I feel when I see people like not getting paid for having their music up online. They don't understand. It's like, oh, college radios are playing your music. You're not getting any of that money. And you think about it, it's like, what, other than, you know, it's kind of like the freelance thing. Like I'm playing for exposure. Like it's there for exposure, but if it was anything else, you'd be making money.
Right.
That's really important to me. I'm so glad that it was unanimous because it should be.
Yeah. So after this, the tour's continuing, I'm assuming. And then, so the EP's out. When is the full length coming out?
Chris is gonna escape real quick.
Oh.
Okay. Hiding my friends in my room. Maddie's still in here. Okay, yeah. With the full length. Oh my gosh, the full length. So I've been writing music for a very long time, and even this EP is like a combination of music that I've been having for like 2 years. Kind of like working on. So the full length is just something that's also been happening at the same time. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like it's not a conversation that I've had yet, but it's definitely something that's been played on a guitar. The music's there, so I guess that's where I stand with it. It will be coming in one way, shape, or form. I don't know.
We just have to. You're teaching us patience.
Yes.
That's all. Well, Shortly, thank you so much for coming here. Again, she's playing at the Loving Touch tonight. You should get tickets because it's basically sold out. There are only a few left at the box office. Mom Jeans as well, and I forgot. Just Friends. Movers and Shakers. And so you can get all the details at the lovingtouch.com.
I'm sorry?
9 tickets left.
There's 9 tickets.
There are 9 tickets
9
left.
total.
So you better run.
If you're in the
and get
building
those
behind
tickets.
us right now and you want to come to the show, there are 9 tickets for you.
All right, so we are going to end this interview with a Shortly song, but also Shortly we'll be playing a few songs here in the studio that we will put up on FerndaleRadio.com. But this is Shortly Spare Time on 107 Ferndale Radio.